these 5 off. Let the soaking begin. This Evapo-Rust, guys, it really does work great. That's it. Might have to get another bottle of this before we get done with this car. But those are soaking. Get this off. Okay, wheels out of the way. I noticed these were a little bit, not a little bit, these are really stiff. The brakes are dragging. So I'm gonna guess this brake line is probably a little collapsed. I don't know, it didn't seem like it pulled when I left the brakes, so they must just be dragging. Oh, we'll find out. We'll find out. I'll get you in here, show you what we got to fight. We're still in pretty good condition. Don't look terrible. Got some more flaky paint up here. That one's actually pitted. It looks a little rougher. It's going to be a little harder to clean up, but we might replace it. I don't know yet. Looks like there's a leak. Oh, is that? Is the shock leaking? No, it's the brake line. It's leaking right here. Okay. So that's what's going on here. I'm not sure why this is. I'll check this bearing out, see what it looks like. I've had to replace one of these on that 84 I had. That was the reason I got that car for really cheap, was because the front left wheel was just dragging like crazy, and so I've actually done a wheel bearing on one of these. On the 84 I did. That was long time ago. These are all going to be taken out and soaked. The frame up here is not going to be nearly as much of a battle. It's a lot cleaner. The paint on here looks really good. But it's going to look even better. Anyway, let's get this stuff off here. First thing is get the tools to take this caliper off. Let's get the T50 here. Yes, it's T50. Actually, kind of think it's funny, the front brakes leak. I figured the rear brakes would leak. Oh, I did bleed the rear brakes out, by the way. They are bled, and the e-brake is adjusted. It works, which is really nice because the car doesn't take off rolling now. Before, there wasn't any, well, they weren't bled, I don't believe, because now they work perfect. The back brakes are working exactly as they should. But that e-brake working, that's awesome. I hate having a standard without an e-brake, because you just leave it in gear and then all you think about is this small of a car, the wind blows it back and forth enough, it pops out of gear, and got to keep a little brick with you in the trunk to chalk your wheels. I really don't, because I'm not there yet. I don't want to take that off yet. Okay. So the outside pad is wore a lot more than the inside pad. Get you in here and look at this. So you can see how the outside pad is severely worn and the inside pad is almost like brand new. That's because these pins right here, when you mount this caliper on, you have to make sure you get these pins. If they're stuck in there, you got to get these pins out. This one, it's pretty loose, but it's not loose enough that this is allowed to slide like it should. So when these don't, like this one here is froze. So when these pins aren't greased and this caliper can't slide back and forth evenly with the rotor, then you get this. Because it's pushing all the pressure and it's actually pushing more on the outside than the inside, not evenly dispersing. So there's that. So it was definitely the brakes dragging. How's this bearing feel? Not bad. Bearing's not bad. Let's see what it looks like in here. You think it's gonna be all grimy, or you think it'll be clean grease? Just black, probably. Just nasty black grease. Oh yeah, nasty black grease. Yep. Nasty black grease. Okay, glove time. Cotter pin. Alright, come on. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was easy. It came right out. We'll soak that guy. We'll soak him. Might as well. This should be loose enough for me to, yes. Yes. It is. Castle nut looks nice and pretty. Greased his job. Kept the water out for sure. The dust cap kept all the other trash out. This should right off. Oh. There's the outer bearing. Alright, outer bearing. Made in USA. It's a good bearing. That's why it's still good. It also doesn't feel bad. Soak those guys in a soap bucket. Those will be nice and clean. This off here. Wow, that looks still fresh metal right there. You don't want to go back through. Soak it. Well, I got a vice grip on this sway bar link, and got it to finally hold that so I could get the nut off it. Finally came off. That's good. These aren't in that bad a shape. They're okay. I mean, I've seen much worse. So. Get loose. Alright, I think I got that one out of there. I think with enough wiggling and persuasion, come out of there. Using the pickle fork, got this in between here. Knock this out. Same with the bottom. So now this will lift off out of the way. This jack up underneath this. Hopefully I can let this down and get that spring out without it coming out and knocking me in the teeth. Spring, rapid removal, hits man in face. I don't know if this will go low enough. Well, that's as far as it goes. Is that loose now? Yeah, I think it's pretty loose. If I can get the jack out underneath it. So this shock is absolutely shot. Absolutely shot. I wonder how hard it's going to be to get a shock for this. Oh yeah. No bouncy back, just straight up leaky shock. Shock is absolutely toast. Maybe we can pry it out and then see if we can get it to. That only scared me a little bit, just a little bit. That almost pushes down enough to get that spring out. Just needs a touch more to get out of there. Boing! Whew! It scared me. It scared me. Are you gonna come loose from up there, man? Come on. Give me out of your spring. Give me your spring. Oh, just give it to me. Come on. Let go. It doesn't want to let go. It said no. Oh my gosh, man. Why don't you want to let go? Okay, I gotta take that brake line off. Get that out of the way, take the bracket off. Okay. Are you gonna come loose or are you gonna brake? Just come loose, don't fight it. Oh, did it go? Did it go loose? It came loose. Oh, it came loose. I can't believe it. I didn't even have to heat it. Alright, we got the bracket off for that. We'll let them soak. And the bolt. Now we gotta take this bolt out to get this upper control arm off. It needs severe cleaning. This is actually going to come loose without fighting me too much, it looks like. That bolt, if it had been any longer, you wouldn't have been able to get it out. Oh, I lost my washers. Put them in there soaking. Just use all the brute force. Oh, a little bit of lubricant, and yeah, there she goes. All right, come on, get past that. All right, spring's out. This is not all cracked and destroyed. It's in good shape. Cool. Clean that spring up. We'll clean all this up, of course. Probably looks like put some lithium grease back in there. It looks like that's what they had in there. Or some silicone grease in there. Probably lithium. We'll put something in there. Alright, so I've got this bolt broke loose here. I'll break this bolt loose still. Working on it. I can't get a ratchet in there. The frame is too close to this nut. Can we pry and ratchet and get somewhere? Yeah, that's kind of working. That's kind of working for me. Let's do some more of that. I loosened this power steering rack up a little bit, see if I get a little room out of here. Maybe the bolt will just come out now. Get it out. No. Come on. Just give me a little bit here to come out. Just come out of the hole. Just get out of there. Get out. I think she's going. Come on. Get out of there. Okay. That wasn't bad at all. So I've got the parts outside. Gotta put some degreaser on them, power wash all the grease and grime and crap off of them. Then I've got to go through the process of wire brushing everything. So while cleaning up the parts, I found out that the caliper here has the bleeder broken off of it. So I'm going to have to drill this out. Well, I'm not going to have to drill it. I'm going to have to use a easy out to try to get this out. Which the guy had said something about spongy brakes, but, well, now I know why. So there that is. So let's see if I can get it out. So I have a set of cheap OEM tools, easy outs. These are probably going to snap right off, but you know, it's worth giving it a try to see if this will work first. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, then have to go to plan B. So in a strange turn of events, I think we all seen this coming, the easy out broke off. So my last attempt is to weld this nut onto this guy and see if I can get it to turn out of there. Probably going to give it another hit of brake cleaner just to make sure it's clean enough. Then I'm going to not wait for it to dry, ignite it and burn myself. Probably. If that works, maybe I can break it loose. I'm going to turn this thing up. I'm going to turn it to nuclear. We're going to see if we can get it to weld onto this nut. If we can't, then we got to order a caliper because I can't get it off there. Want that cool. Get some PB blaster on this guy. I mean, it's hot and maybe. Nothing. A bit too much. Oh my gosh. Finally. Of course. I happen to have a used bleeder, so nice. Well, that's good. Now the caliper can be used. Isn't that nice? That thing is still hotter than who done it. Woo! She's still hot. There it is. Sweet. Just loosely put that in there for now. Guess we got one in it now. She threads in nice. Alright, good. So waiting on paint to dry. Still gotta get the ball joint press to remove the lower ball joint. But that's cleaned up pretty good. Painted. Still need to pull all the bolts out of the soaking bucket. Clean all those up. Still need to get the rotor and the bearings repacked. It's gonna be a late night. So applied a rust dissolver all the parts that I'm not taking off the car and getting all that off of it. This coolant line, and then these bolts up here and stuff. Soaked all this down. It'll take a little while, but it'll dissolve, and then I can rinse it all with water and then get all this repainted and coated. It'll look a lot nicer. The inside of the fender was actually in really good shape, so not a whole lot really to do in here. I mean, I might paint it just to cover the seam sealer to protect it, but it cleaned up pretty good in the fender. It's not as bad. So I'm tearing down the passenger side and well, yeah, that's snapped off too. So I guess we know what's going to happen here. Just go straight to heat and oil and heat and oil and heat and oil and oil and heat and heat and oil, and then we'll try it to see if it breaks loose, and then we'll heat and oil and heat and heat and oil and oil and heat and heat and oil and heat, and yeah. That's great. I did get the other bleeder out of the caliper. Same thing happened. Snapped the easy out right off, and even after I heated it and oiled it, it still snapped the easy out off. Probably a cheap easy out, but welded a nut to it, got it out of there. Okay, save that caliper. So we'll put a new bleeder in that, and now we should be able to get the brakes bled when we come to that time. So that's good. Working on the lower ball joint on the driver's side. I've got driver's side out. I've got the control arm over there, getting ready to power wash, kind of clean up where I've made a giant mess of it, and get that painted. And then now that I've got the inside fender painted, cleaned up the stainless coolant line. Also clear coated that just to kind of prevent it from getting nasty again. So this looks a lot better. Got some new parts to put on. Got the new upper ball joints and a new lower ball joint. So I'm gonna start reassembling a lot of this and see what it looks like all put together. Again, I've got all the hardware that's soaked and cleaned up, so it all looks nice. The bolts will be a lot easier going back in and tightening up. Makes a big difference. Have a nice clean hardware. Just got to make sure I put the bolts back where I got them. And there's that one. This one. Control armage. Let's go get our cleaned up spring. So I've used the ball joint press to press the lower ball joint in on the bottom there. Got the spring back in. I recommend using spring compressors. I didn't have any, so I used these. Don't do this. This is dangerous. Bad idea. Springs can kill you. Okay. We got that taken care of. This was just what I had, so I compressed it with exhaust clamps. I wish I'd had smaller exhaust clamps, but I didn't, so that's what I used. I'm gonna go get the actual hub assembly to put in here. Get that hub assembly up here. Get the upper control arm on and try to get that mounted so I can jack this up and release the pressure off of these, and this won't fly out of there on me. All right, plan. Get the upper control arm on. Let's open the upper ball joint up here. See what all we get in the package. Get all kinds of goodies. Alright, so I'm using these, the old bolt and the old nut that was on the other one. I don't like the ones that came with it because they're like 14 feet long. They're going to stick way up here. So I'm using the ones that were on it before. They're all cleaned up anyway. This back on greaser. Like it's got a little angled greaser. That's kind of nice. Just make sure you turn it out to where it's accessible, not turned backwards. When it tightens up, it'll probably be the wrong way. Put the spindle back on. Now we just gotta tighten this one up. Try to get the pin through because it came with a new cotter pin. And look for that spot on here. When I get to the cotter pin hole. Almost there. You know, I better get these clamps out of here. I'll never get these clamps out if I don't unloosen these now and get them out of here. I might have to cut these things out. They're just in there. Sure is nice and shiny. Get this shock tightened up down here. Okay, so this is where we're at. We got the shock on, brake line's reattached, tie rod end's back on, have the sway bar link back on, still have to do the caliper bracket, the caliper, and still have to do the hub. But it's coming along. Alright guys, well, we got the rotor back on, calipers back on, brake line's reattached. I still have the inner fender to put in. I've still got a lot of little things to do here. That's all I've got time for this week. So next week we'll finish this up. Have to do the other side, get that side done. I might not record the other side. I might just go through it. It's going to be the same as this side. Do the same thing. In fact, the caliper, I already got the bleeder out of it, but it was broken on that side also. So Probably going to go through that as fast as I can off camera, and then we'll get back on this and hopefully get to the undercarriage, do some stuff underneath there. It's kind of where I'm wanting to go. But we'll see where we get to, because I'm still waiting on some parts to come in. If those other parts don't come in, we might be prepping for paint faster than I had planned on. I mean, I really want to do everything else besides the paint, but we might be painting this car before fixing some of the stuff I'm waiting on parts for. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens. Remember, like and subscribe, comment. If you have a Fiero, or if you've had one in the past, comment about it. Let me know. Let me know what your experience with them are. I always like to hear stories about them. You can also email me at nerdpalacegarage@gmail.com, and I'll respond back. So you can email me there. If you have some pictures or anything of a ride that you had or a Fiero, that'd be awesome. Be cool to see it. Or, you know, just tell me your story about yours. Thanks for watching. See you next week.